Good morning everybody and happy Saturday. It's a really nice spring morning here this morning. Nice and dry. Not a lot of sunshine, but we'll take the dry. And I thought it would be nice to show you how to make one of the favoritist lemon bakes in this house. And it's not lemon drizzle cake, which I will do sometime, but it's lemon bars. And it's got a lovely shortbread base on it, and then a really light fluffy lemon filling, almost like a lemon meringue kind of filling. So the first thing you do is pop your flour in here. And how much flour have I got? I have 6 ounces of flour, which is 175 grams, and I have my butter here, which I weighed these last night, so that's why I can't remember. 4 ounces of butter, and it's at room temperature, which is going to make it very easy to work with, which is 125 grams, and only 2 ounces of granulated sugar, which is what, 50 grams? Yeah. Which is very unusual to, I shouldn't have put the sugar in, I should have rubbed the flour and the butter in first, but it doesn't matter. I always make that mistake whenever I'm filming. So what I'm going to do here is rub in the flour into the butter, pretend there's no sugar in there. But if you do it, it doesn't matter, honestly, it'll be fine. It'll just, it's one less thing to do after, to add the sugar. It's quite unusual when you're making a pastry base or a shortbread base to use granulated sugar. It's usually always caster sugar, so that's quite an unusual thing. And it just gives the, that shortbread a little bit more of a crunchy texture. Now you can see that this has come together very, very quickly here because it's quite heavily butter based, and it's getting a bit sticky now too. So I think it has come together enough. And there's the dog trying to get in the door. So all the butter is incorporated, and that's the main thing. It should look more like breadcrumbs, but because my butter has been out all night, it's a little bit less crumbly than I would like it to be. If you wanted to at this stage, you could add more flour to it to make it. That's Liam going crazy upstairs. Saturday morning, I'm trying to get them to tidy their rooms, and honestly they spend more time faffing about up there having the crack, but we're in lockdown, so I'm not going to start giving out about people having a bit of crack. Okay, I'm just going to rinse my hands really quickly here. So as I was saying, if you feel that it's too wet, like mine was there, you could add another little bit of flour just to make it more crumbly. Add a spoon at a time and see how you get on. But I think it'll be fine. I'm just going to use my spoon to press it down. So I'm using an 8-inch square tin that I've already lined with greaseproof paper, and you basically use the back of your spoon just to push it in, and as you can see, it doesn't matter. It is ending up looking exactly the same as it would if it was crumbly, or I might need to use a clean spoon because this spoon had a little bit of butter on it. So it's just, it's sticking now. The spoon is sticking, okay? So just, and I usually do use a clean spoon when it comes to this stage to prevent things from sticking. So just, I'm basically pushing out all the way to the sides so that the mixture is evenly distributed all over, okay? And I'm going to pop that into an oven. What temperature? It is 170 Celsius, 325 Fahrenheit, and I'm only going to cook that for 20 minutes. Because when I put the other mixture, the lemon mixture on top, it goes back in the oven again. So I can't stress enough how important it is to not overcook it at this stage. So if your oven tends to cook a little bit on the hotter side, take it out even after 10 minutes, okay? You only want it to be just, you don't want it to be brown, you barely even want it to be golden, you just want it to be slightly turning light gold. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to pop it in here, and I'll get the rest of the ingredients ready for the next stage, and I'll pop back to you. So guys, this is the filling part, and I'm going to pop everything into my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can mix this all by hand. So I have 200 grams of caster sugar in here, which is a lot, but it is counteracting the sharpness of the lemon. I have 2 tablespoons of flour in here, half a teaspoon of, is it baking powder or bicarbonate? Baking powder, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Again, apologies, I measured these all last night, so that's why I find it hard to remember what's in here. 2 eggs. You can beat them first, or you can just pop them in here. Because it's a food processor, I'm just going to pop everything in here. And the juice and rind of 1 lemon. Now, normally it is always good practice to grate the rind off your lemon first before you cut it in half, but I forgot to do that. So I'm having a very forgetful filming day today, but again, it'll be grand. I'm just going to pour that in there. I love my new juicer. I love the way it catches everything and pours really easily as well. Life is too short not to have something decent to squeeze your lemons with. Okay, just pop all of that in there. So it's going to be quite a wet mixture. So the next thing I'm going to do is grate my lemons in here. Again, I'm using my microplane grater. If you guys don't have one of these, honestly, one of the best bit of kitchen kit that I have, apart from my weighing scales, which I don't think I could live without. The digital weighing scales that are out now are just fantastic. I have mine for a good few years now, and all I have to do is replace the battery every now and then. So this would have been so much easier if I had not cut my lemon in half in the first place. So when you're grating your lemon, make sure you don't go too far deep until you hit the white bits. You don't want to see any white in your lemon. You only want to see it turning a pale yellow color, okay? So that's enough of that. And on to the next one. So now is a really good time to be buying your seeds for the garden. The polytunnel, we're starting to gather up a few vegetable seeds, and we're trying to concentrate this year on growing things that we actually like and that grow well for us, because when the seeds come out you tend to go, oh, I love that, and buy a whole pile of stuff that you actually don't even like to eat, just because there's the thrill of growing. That's one of the mistakes I made last year, was growing way too much kale, and nobody in this house eats kale. I think we made kale crisps once and that was it. Right now the hens are having a great time out there eating all the kale, which is, I suppose, grand, isn't it? We're up to now about 3 eggs a day now, Liam?
Yeah, we just got 3 today.
3 eggs this morning. So it's a lovely thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I watched one later now.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a lovely thing to watch the kids run out first thing in the morning to look for eggs. Okay, so I'm just going to blitz this all together. It'll make a little bit of noise, so I'll just turn the camera off and come back when it's finished. So guys, my pastry base is ready. It's slightly, I don't know, Liam, can you bring that in closer to show people? It's just slightly golden around the edges, and I knew it was time to take it out, even though it was still soft to touch, because you do not want this to be too crunchy. You really, really don't. And we have whisked up the filling for the lemon, and you can see it's really quite running. So you just literally pour it on top like that, and that's why it's good to have a lined tin, because that keeps everything together. And because it's such a wet mixture, if you don't have your tin lined, it would end up sticking to the sides, being very difficult. I'm quite loath to leave any in here because it's absolutely, this is the delicious part. Really sugary and lemony. So that just goes back into the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to pop it still at the same temperature as before and come back to you when that's done. Here we go, guys. It is finished. Now I can see it moving slightly when I tilt it like that, and that's the point you want to take it out. You don't want to wait, like it's still slightly wobbly to touch. You don't want it to be, you know, too firm. And you can see it start to go slightly golden. So that's it, it's ready. I'm going to leave that to cool on a cooling tray, and then I'm going to sprinkle with some icing sugar whenever it's finished, and I'll cut it up and show you what it's like. The smell is amazing. So guys, I've waited long enough. I'm going to sprinkle the top with lots and lots of icing sugar, and that gives it that really professional look. It also is a great way, if you have a sponge or any light coloured cake like this that comes out of the oven, you know, with little parts of it browner than others. This is a great way of hiding the inconsistency in your bake. And it's really only an aesthetic thing, like it doesn't make any difference to the flavour. So why not hide it all with a big sprinkling of icing sugar. Okay, that's enough. I'm just gonna literally pop it out of the tin and hope for the best. You can cut it in the tin either, but I'm just going to pop it out, place it on here, and just peel back gently the greaseproof paper, and there you have your wonderful lemon. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Just put into a corner here so that you can see it's still not quite set because it's still very warm, but you can get an idea. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on flight mode. That's why you heard the beeping there. But look at that, deliciously lovely lemon. Oh! Sorry. Lemony flavored. Gorgeous. Lemon bars, guys. Lovely Saturday afternoon treat. Give them a go. Thanks for watching. God bless.